How do you do, fellow kids? I'm Andrew, and this is Blaster Breakdown's Year in Review 2022. So another 12 months has passed, and I've managed to put together another 12 hopefully interesting mods for you to watch. Maybe you've seen them all, maybe just a few, maybe none. I'll put links to every blaster we look at today in the description box below. Before we start though, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like if you enjoy my content. All right, let's get started. So January started off with a Nerf Fortnite HCE single shot mod. Again, I'm not a Fortnite player. I don't know what HCE stands for, but I was able to turn this into an epic hand cannon firing short darts without having to change the plunger tube or the spring, just by inserting a few pieces at the front of the plunger tube and fashioning this interesting reversible barrel that you can load darts in the front, flip it around, jam it in, and the darts at the back of the barrel ready to fire. Next shot, new dart in the front, flip it around, just the same. So it did get a bit of play early on in the year, not so much towards the end of the year. February saw my first HPA mod for the year. This is the Mega XL Boom Dozer. Using a replacement barrel designed by Chicken, this now fires 5 short darts at a time, 6 times around as per normal. It features a Specs BZ in the back delivering the air, so remote line in the handle, and then just set the input pressure to whatever is necessary. Firing 5 darts at a time, I found I needed pressures around 100 PSI or higher to give me reasonable range at the 30 to 50 feet mark. I actually only managed to use this at one war during the year. Shotgun style isn't really my thing, but it was a fun build to put together regardless. That brings us to March, my first flywheeler video for the year. This is the Lepus by Jackrabbit Nerfer, fully 3D printed design with Hurricane flywheels up the top, an N20 motor in the back. Depending on the speed of motor used, could give a rate of fire of 10 or 12 darts per second, up to a ridiculous 50. This takes Talon magazines in the grip, making it ultra compact. The triggers up front are a pair of tiny micro switches, which do take a bit of getting used to. While a fun build to put together, I didn't actually use this in any events during the year. April saw my most popular video this year, the Nexus Pro Expanded Plunger Tube mod. This one uses some internal parts by Andrew Tran. I've also got some cosmetic bits by Chicken again, and this swaps out the stock plunger tube with a longer polycarb or acrylic or stainless steel tube so that the entire length of draw moves the plunger back, compresses the spring, and ensures that the entire volume is used to fire the dart. It's short darts only, but even at a moderate spring prime, this one's hitting 250 FPS and above, and it wouldn't take much to push it beyond 300. My video for May showed you how I put together my Super Cheetah. This is a HPA blaster with Spectres Super Core. It's got an Empire relay attached to the grip and then your air supply screwed directly into that. So it's a Talon magazine fed semi-automatic blaster. It's got some internal parts designed by Andrew Stuckey in Melbourne. And I think with the Cheetah 2.0 shell, this is about as compact as you can get a Super Core blaster, other than 3D printed designs, of course. Unfortunately, we haven't had any high FPS games for me to make use of this one during the year. Hopefully that'll change in 2023. In June, we saw another 3D printed flywheeler blaster. This is actually a proprietary design by My 3D Base in Germany. This is the second one of these we've had. It's an extremely comfortable design. I don't have the biggest hands, so the narrow grip is really comfortable to hold, and the trigger pull is super smooth. I ordered the kit with just the printed parts and the hardware. I installed the Neo Hellcat motors and the rest of the wiring myself. This is my son's primary, and it gets lots of use at every event. In July, I put together another single-shot Springer, the Nerf Rival Fate. This one, I installed the AK Blaster Mod Brass Breech Short Dart Kit. It's quite a straightforward kit to put together, and that gives excellent super stock performance to the short darts. August saw my most complicated build of the year, a fully automatic HPA long shot. There's no super core in this one. Instead, I've got a Specs BZ at the back holding the air and a pneumatic piston that drives the bolt sled back and forward. It's powered by a dual solenoid, one controlling the piston, one controlling the Specs BZ. That's powered by an electronic pulse generator. All the electronics fit in the back, and there's a remote line connection. This will now fire 6 or 7 shots per second at 300 FPS and beyond, but unfortunately, again, not having any high FPS events to use it at, it hasn't actually got any gameplay this year. September saw my favourite flywheeler build of the year, a Band Blasters Auto Swordfish. So this features the Banshee flywheel cage wheels and motors made by Band Blasters, and a Worker full auto kit where I've replaced the pusher with the extended short dart pusher and replaced the gearbox motor with the blue Metal Gear version. This setup gives me 200 FPS at 12 darts per second on a 3S LiPo that's firing short darts, though I can tune it down to around 150 FPS if I swap that out for a 2S LiPo. This one is heaps of fun to run and has gotten me plenty of tags at recent events. In October, I got my hands on a Tomcat. These haven't been available to purchase in Australia, certainly not in retail stores. So a friend purchased for me in the US and sent a few over. This gives great performance out of the box, but I took a bit of time to play around with different springs and different barrel combinations to see how that would affect performance. In the end, I went with a slightly tighter barrel and a slightly weaker spring, tuning this one to 150 FPS for our group's Superstock events. A few personalised accessories, foregrip, stock, sights. This one's truly my own and has seen a bit of use at our Superstock events later in 2022. November saw me modding the best looking blaster in the world, the Roblox Viper Strike Zombie something. It's a snake. This is now a Viper. That's a sniper. It's got a sniper scope. It's a remote line HPA, so it'll deliver 400 FPS. It's got a long barrel. It's got a scar up the front, so the accuracy is perfect. Not many snakes have legs, but this one does. The internals are relatively simple, though I did try a few new things that I hadn't done before. Combining a metal pusher kit with sliding brass worked out really well, and I think that'll be a model that I use for future builds. And I got to use a new, smaller solenoid that I hadn't used before, fit in the back here. As a HPA blaster, I can adjust the FPS by turning the pressure up or down. So I gave this one a run at our October event, down at about 20 PSI to give me 150 FPS. Happy to say, this snake has bite, got me some tags on the day. And my final video for the year was December's Blaster Life Wife Strife. This one I'd already modded with a metal worker kit, wheels and Neo Hellcat motors in the semi-automatic configuration. In the December video, I put together the Blaster Life Crank Slide Full Auto Kit, which has a different mechanism of action to the Worker Full Auto Kit. This is a great set of files, quite easy to put together overall, and performs really well. It was a little tricky getting the cycle control to work. Using the blue gearbox with the full metal gears, this now performs really, really well. This one also got me plenty of tags, the one event I used it this year. So there you go, 12 months, 12 blasters. It was interesting that it worked out 4 springers, 4 flywheelers, and 4 HPA blasters. I didn't intend it to go that way, but it's funny how things work out. If you've taken the time to watch my videos this year, thank you for your support. If you haven't, again, check the links in the description box below for anything that takes your fancy. If you've got a favourite, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.